Hello, everyone. Sorry, my table just tipped over. Sorry about that. Anyway, how is everyone doing tonight? Technical difficulties, but we're good. So, tonight we are going live with Jennifer Kuhn from Hi, Kate. Hi, Cynthia from the Nanny Magazine. Hi, Christina and Chris. Everybody's hopping on. Hi, Amber. Um, okay. Doing fine in Chicago. Oh, is it cold there? Okay, we're going live tonight with Jennifer, and she's going to tell us all about the Nanny Magazine. Some of us, including me, did not know about the Nanny Magazine until I went to Nanny Palooza. And I tell you, there's a benefit for going to all of these nanny trainings. You find out a whole lot of things that nannies have access to. The Nanny Magazine is written by nannies for nannies. I was reading through previous issues of the magazine and I saw all these names that I knew. I said, I know her, I know her, I know him. I was like, wow, I didn't know all the nannies were writing in the magazine. So I tell you, going to those nanny professional development trainings is a good thing. Hello to everyone who just came in. Um, I am going to bring Jennifer on now so we can get started. Let's see. There she is. Hi,
Hi,
Jennifer.
Angela.
Can you hear?
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Just turning my volume up. Ah, so how are you today?
I'm doing very well. Thanks so much for having me on your show today.
You're welcome. Hold on, let me change glasses so I can see. Yeah, now that's better. Those are my faraway glasses. These are my up close glasses. And I was like, why can't I see this screen? That's because I have on the wrong glasses. But now I can see you.
Great.
um, so tell us a bit about yourself outside of the nanny world and the nanny magazine. Tell us something, well, anything you feel like sharing.
Sure. So Nanny Magazine has been around now for we're in our fourth year of publication. So we've been publishing kind of online and in print for several years consecutively. However, I have not been a nanny for about 8 years now. I nannied when I was in grad school and during college, summer breaks and things like that, but it's been a while since I've actually done any nannying work. Um, so right now I work in the field of scholarly publishing, which to people watching this, it might sound really boring, but for me, it's actually something that I really love doing. But Nanny Magazine was my way of marrying my two great loves of nannying and publishing together. And so that's what brought it into existence. And I'm really excited to be able to continue publishing this, even though I'm no longer a nanny.
Yay. Well, all of us transitioned at some point or another. I mean, I transitioned to Ask the Nanny. I'm still a nanny, but I was transitioning. Um, but we all have that little something back there in the back of our heads. We're all nannypreneurs, as Stephanie says. We all have something in us. God gave us more than one talent than just to be a nanny, even though I love what I do, and I'm sure all the other nannies love what they do, but we have other talents too. We're very talented women, and I'm finding that out as I interview people on Ask the Nanny, and I'm thinking to myself, wow, I didn't know all of that. Yeah. So
Yeah.
marrying your two loves is a great thing. And I always say if you're doing something that you love, it's not a job because you just wake up and that's what you want to do. It's your passion you want to do. So I applaud you for taking what you love and join it with what the other things that you love and marrying them together. And this is what we have. I read
Yeah.
Nanny Magazine and I love it.
Oh, thank you so much. That's such a huge compliment.
I did not know, as I said before, I did not know about it until I went to Nanny Palooza. And
Yeah.
you all were there, and I kept hearing Nanny Magazine, Nanny Magazine. I'm like, what are they talking about? And then you spoke and said something right before the break. You said, I'll be right out here at the table. We're running this special. I was like, oh, special, sale. Yes, that's me. So
Yeah.
my mom always told me I know how to sniff out a sale. So when you said sale, I was like, let me
Yeah.
go to the sale. So I am so glad that I did, though. I'm so glad that I did. So tell me, how did the thought process of Nanny Magazine come into fruition? I know you say you like publishing, and I know you say you used to be a nanny. How did it click? Let me do this type of magazine as opposed to something else.
That's a really great question. So, Nanny Magazine started because when I was a nanny, I always used to wonder, why isn't there a magazine for nannies? Because nannying is a really important profession, as you know, and as a lot of the people viewing this know. Um, Nannies hear all the time, why don't you get a real job? When are you going to get a real job? You're just paid to play, and all of those things that nannies always hear. And that's not necessarily true, as you know.
No,
Nannying is a real job. It's a hard job. And I used to wonder, why are there magazines for people who love tractors and for people who love dogs, but not for people who care for the next generation of our country?
right.
Um, so that's what compelled me to start Nanny Magazine back when I did. And I actually had the idea for it for quite a while before I actually started to execute it. And then at the time when I very first started it, I was working with a business partner, and kind of we fed off of the ideas that we were both generating, and it helped us really spur things along quickly. We came together in less than 1 year, and we attracted the attention of entities like Sitter City and Care.com. We interviewed for our very first issue the authors of the book The Nanny Diaries, which was really cool.
Oh,
We ultimately we did an interview with Fran Drescher, which was really cool. We were actually talking
I
with her
love
when
her.
I know. She was actually backstage getting ready for a Broadway production. She was in Cinderella on Broadway, and she was playing, I think she was playing the evil stepmother. I'm not really sure. But one of our authors who was interviewing her was on the line, and we did it through a conference call line. And I was able to listen in on that, and it was so cool. Like, who can say that they got to do that, and I got to do that, and I'm just
Yeah.
really lucky and I loved it. So yeah, so that's kind of the starting point of Nanny Magazine. And since then, we've been able to publish a lot of different article types that people have found to be useful. Things like our most recent issue, the January 2018 issue, was on the topic of personal finance for nannies. And of course, nannies don't have an HR department to go to for things like
Right.
benefits questions or how to schedule payments for health savings or things like that. So it's really important, and I'm really proud of all of the things that we've been able to deliver out there to the community. And nannying is so marginalized. It's a very underserved community in terms of resources, and that's kind of what we hope to accomplish, is just to provide some meaningful and important information for people who don't necessarily have access to that. And like when you said that you had never heard of Nanny Magazine, even though we've been around for so many years at this point,
Mhm.
that's the reason why we keep doing this, because we want to be able to reach people who don't know about us, because we're a really useful resource. So
That's why you're here. Because
yeah.
I enjoy it. I love reading and I enjoyed it. Especially there was let me I wrote it down, the interview issue.
Ah,
That one, I was like, where was this when I first started? I I was article after article after article, and I was like, I needed that, and I needed that. I mean, the contract, the it just the go to the oh my gosh, it was just packed full of so much information, and I was like, every nanny needs to read this. Every
Yeah.
it, it trust me, the subscription is worth just that one just that one issue because it answers so many questions. Hi, Meg. It answers so many questions for new nannies starting out. It answers so many questions about the contract. Where do I go and do this? Where do I go and do that? And I was like, really? Seriously? I needed this. The
Yeah.
portfolio. And then this month, Kate wrote a article about the road to the W-2s or the journey to the W-2s. And that is so important. That was why I had Kathy on because of we don't know where to go. It's tax season. It's tax time. Where do we
Hmm.
go? What do we do? And why is it so important that we get paid on the books? I am so glad that you cover all of these things that questions that we would ask someone, but we don't want to sound stupid. So we keep it to ourselves and we kind of suffer in silence and we uh put this out there for me. Just ask for me. Just say you asking for a friend. So I won't be embarrassed. Trust me, I've done it. It's like, okay, can you ask this question for me? Because I don't want to sound like, stupid. But the magazine answers so many questions, and I just blown away. Now,
It's amazing how people still think that nannies are 1099 workers, or a lot of parents trying to avoid paying taxes for their nanny try to say to the nanny that you're a 1099 worker. They're just not. That's such a common misconception. It's so shady that
mhm.
um, notion exists out there. If anybody watching this is a nanny, you are not a 1099 worker. You are a W-2 worker. Get yourself a W-2.
Yes, and put it in your contract that you need to be paid on the
Yeah,
books. I've
yeah.
I've had a couple of families that I work with, and they say, "Well, we want a nanny." The first thing that I do is put the hard questions out there to see, do you really want a nanny? And said, okay, so are you prepared to do the industry standard of 52 weeks a year? They get paid. Are you prepared for the to pay nanny taxes? Because she wants to be paid on the books, and you pay your part, she pays her part, but also, are you prepared for workers' compensation? Because trust me, some of these children, they are so rambunctious, and you're chasing after them and you're trying to catch them, and anything happens, or they pull something and it falls on top of you, and you end up hurt and you can't work, and then they're ready to fire you because you weren't watching my child. Well, I was watching your child. I got hurt while watching your child.
Yeah.
So all these things happen when you are getting paid on the books. It makes a difference, and I'm so glad that you had the finance issues about, and what was it, the 401k plan, because we don't
Hmm.
plan for our retirement. Some of us don't make enough to plan for tomorrow, much less the future.
Hmm.
My parents taught me, you pay yourself first, and then you take care of the bills, because guarantee you, as long as you owe them, they're gonna come after you, and you will
Hmm.
still be paying on them, and you can call and make a payment plan or whatever you need to do, but pay yourself first. Make sure that you have enough for a rainy day, so if something happens and you're not able to work, that you don't have anything to follow back on. You don't have any place to go or no money to take you to whatever place you need to go. So
Yeah.
all those issues, I am loving the finance. I'm loving it because when I started out, I needed that.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of nannies now, even though they've been in it for a while, they need that. So
Yeah.
that's so good. Thank you, thank you, thank you for
Of course.
making aware of all of these things.
Sure.
Now, my next question for you is, um, how do you come up with the articles that you write? Are they suggested? How does that work?
So we're open to a variety of different kind of origins for articles, but I will say, and I have to give a huge shout out to Amanda Dunyak, who is Nanny Magazine's current editor-in-chief. I relinquished my reins as editor last year, and it was really the best thing that I've done ever in the history of Nanny Magazine because it frees up my time to focus on more strategic level um, marketing and relationship development and things like that, and for me to be able to do this here with you right now, actually. So thanks to Amanda. She's been keeping the ships moving, the trains moving on time. So she's done an amazing job. I don't know if she's watching right now, but if she is, I just need to say big thank you to her. So articles can come to us from a variety of ways. If an author has a specific expertise or a passion area that they're interested in writing about, they're always welcome to submit an article on that. And usually we'll find a home for it either in our print editions or on our website somewhere, because we do publish the subscription model, so you can subscribe and get the digital versions or the print versions. We also publish free articles on our website too, so you don't need to be a subscriber to read those. So very often Amanda may find a home for stuff that comes in unsolicited through our website. And some of our best content actually gets published there because it's just so important and so impactful that we wanted to have the broadest exposure possible. So beyond that, we do themed issues. Like I said, the January 2018 issue was on personal finance. Every issue has a specific topic that we tend to focus on, which is not to say that we only publish content on that specific area. Every issue also has other kind of off-topic content as well. So when we're looking at the finance issue, there was also an article in there about potty training. There's been articles about, yeah, I could have used that one, years ago, but but yeah, so that's kind of how content comes into being. For anybody who is interested in writing or contributing to Nanny Magazine, we work with authors and photographers of every skill level, from people who are just trying to get their very first publication credit all the way up to experienced published people who've done this more than one time before. So if you are interested in submitting content for consideration, go online to nannymagazine.submittable.com, and I'll send that link to you in the comments after we wrap up here today.
Good. So, when you say the articles that are online, do we go to the Nanny Magazine online and we can read the free articles under there? Or do we have to sign up for an email or something in order to read those articles?
Those are free. You do not have to sign up for anything at all. There's my mom, Lisa Knight. Hi, Mom.
Hi, Mom.
So yeah, so you do not need to be a subscriber. You do not need to sign up for our email list, although we'd love it if you did, so we can be sure to stay in touch with people. But it's just online at nannymag.com, and then click on Article Archive, and that'll show you everything that's ever been published on our website.
Okay, good. I read an article about the social media. We were just talking about that last Monday about social media, and I was like, I need them to come and talk about social media, because we were just talking about that at the end. Stephanie and I were talking about that at the end about the etiquette of nannies online and being in social media, because there are times when I look at stuff and I'm like, walk away, walk away, walk away. The thoughts that go through my head, I'm like, don't put that out there. Don't put that out there. Don't put that out there. It's not private. As private as you think it may be, it's not private, because anybody and everybody, including the hackers that hack into your accounts, can get to your things, anything that you put out there online. So if you don't want it online, if you even emails that come transfer, they can get trust me. With the
Yeah,
presidential election, they can get a hold of anything. Trust
I
me.
know.
They can get a
So,
hold of anything. So if you don't want it out there and you don't want to be embarrassed by what you're saying, don't put it out there. But I love that article too. I was
yeah.
like, oh, and I wrote down articles. I was like, okay, I need to mention this one and this one. It was just so much that was there that, and even reading the back issues, I was like, you've been missing out on all of this. And I know I'm not the only one who has been missing out on all of this information, helpful information that would have gotten me farther than where I am now, faster, if I had just taken the time to read an article. Reading is fundamental. My mom preached it. She was a kindergarten teacher, and she used to tell me that all the time. Reading is fundamental. So yes, read
Yeah.
read the articles, Manny's. Read the articles. They are so helpful. Trust me, you'll be glad that you did. Now I haven't.
Oh,
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Michelle Galetta just posted the link to our article archive. So thanks for posting that, Michelle.
Okay, it hadn't come up on. See, things are delayed. You get them before I do for some reason.
Oh,
So
really?
I was like, where is that? Where is that? I don't see. But yeah, you get those before I do.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
but my next question is the data blitz. Where does that come from? Who came up with that?
Yeah, that was me. I came up with that several
Ah,
years ago. Yeah, the Data Blitz has been in every single issue since we very first started publishing. I wanted that to be something that was on theme for the issue, or basically kind of representative of some really interesting flashes of information that are pertinent to whatever the month is that we're published in. Um, so Amanda Dunyak, the editor-in-chief, the current editor of the magazine, has been writing the Data Blitz for a long time now, and I'm really glad to have her do that. But having the idea of that it's been around since day one. It's been in since our very first issue. It's really just fun and kind of cute and interesting, and kind of little things that nannies can share with their charges if they are interested in that kind of information.
well, I tell you, the one that stood out to me was the one about infants blink twice. I was like, really?
Really?
I was like, seriously? And then it got me to thinking about, because I work with an infant, and it got me to thinking, I'm like, why is this so important to you? And I was like, she doesn't blink a whole lot. Now that I think about it. And it just, it was just little fascinating facts. And it just kind of just, I was like, wow, okay. I,
Yeah.
I asked, where did that come from? Where did that concept come from? But it was cute. Then you had me searching all the magazines to find out the little. I was like, okay, read, find out some new important facts. But yeah, you had me searching the whole thing trying to find what's going on. So that was cute. Um, Hold on, I can't read my writing. Now, as a business, I have a business. How do I go about advertising in the magazine? I know I saw a lot of advertisement, but does it go in is there a separate price for the print as opposed to paying one lump sum and you get in the print and on the internet?
We have different packages and ways to work with other businesses or organizations, and we've definitely done a lot of collaborations in the past with things like the International Nanny Association has done some advertising with Nanny Magazine. Some smaller nanny agencies have done so, products, services, etc. Um, we have an entire media kit on our website. It's under, I believe that's nannymag.com/advertise,
Okay.
um, or sponsor. I would have to double check and post the link down in the comments later, unless Michelle gets to it before I do. But yeah, the entire media kit is right there. Probably um, probably needs to be updated and refreshed for 2018, but the same principles will apply where we do social media packages and shout outs. We do newsletter sponsorships. We have website sponsorship positions that are available. One of the biggest things that I'm trying to emphasize in 2018 and beyond is relationships with nanny agencies. So we really want to foster those and develop those relationships. So if you are a nanny agency or you know a nanny agency or there's one that you'd like for Nanny Magazine to get in touch with, the biggest thing we're trying to promote right now is bulk access to the digital editions of the magazine. In fact, Windsor House Nannies out in Austin, Texas just signed up last month. Basically, it's where the agency gets access for one low fee for the entire year for all of their nannies, and they can turn around and offer that to their nannies for free. And it's a really good way for agencies to promote themselves to parents and people who would be using their services, as well as for the nanny to have free access to an important resource that they may not otherwise pay for on their own.
Okay, I have a question that just kind of just hit my brain. Okay, as a moderator for a nanny group, is there some kind of special that you have where I could purchase like a block or a chunk of nanny magazines and issue them to different people in the group, or give them access to a certain number that I can give access to the nanny magazine in the group?
Yeah, those are definitely, that's not something I've done before, but it's definitely something that I'm open to doing. So
Hey, yeah.
if there, yeah, let's definitely talk about that for sure.
Great. Sounds like a great idea. I'm just trying to expose nannies to what I didn't have. And I know with me on the downside of my nanny career as opposed to going up, there are a lot of them that are super nannies, and I see them just growing and blossoming. And I know that some of these articles in the magazine will help them and just catapult them a whole lot faster than what I went. And, as an older nanny, I want to help them not make the mistakes that I made. And seeing some of the readings, just by reading some of the articles, and I'm thinking, I could have used it. I could have used this. I could have used that. And just the little tips and just everything that's in there is so important. And career wise, catapulting yourself in the nanny career, in your nanny career, and making more money, being more informed, being able to communicate with your parents, uh, how to just even how to choose the right nanny family fit, because that's an important issue there. But just being ready, even just look, I'm tongue tied. Just being able to give out um, information to the nannies um, is important. Is important because a lot of them are not able to make it to the professional nanny trainings. But the information that you have in your magazine, it gives us an idea. Of course, we have to do more research, but it gives us a starting point, somewhere that we can go and say, okay, I have this information now. What am I going to do with it? I can either
Mhm.
sit on it or I can expand and make it, make myself better from it. So I definitely want to talk to you about that because, I mean, that's, with International Nanny Training Day coming up, that would be awesome.
Speaking of International Nanny Training Day coming up, we are in contact with a lot of the organizers from events around the country,
Mhm.
and every year we do get approached by a lot of organizers. Um, And we try to participate whenever we're able to and send people out to the various locations. For example, I've attended the one in Washington, D.C. I know Amanda's attended up in Jersey, various other locations as well. So if anybody watching this is an organizer for a local event, please get in touch with us because we are happy to support your raffle efforts. And we're also happy to do discount subscriptions for your attendees. Just send me an email to info@nannymag.com and I'd be very, very happy to work something out with you.
Yay. Okay. I'll be emailing you.
Great. Awesome.
Just so you know, expected. But yeah, that's so loving it, loving it, loving it. Now, I had another question. How many people do you have on staff per se for Nanny Magazine?
Well, I hope I don't forget anybody here. So Michelle, please jump in if I do. I don't know the exact number. We have probably somewhere around 6 or 8 people on our team. So I kind of play mostly a role in terms of marketing and strategic development and things like that, business aspect of things, because it's my business. Amanda serves as editor-in-chief, where she corrals a lot of the happenings with issues as they go to press, as they start coming in with articles, and she's finding all of the photos to accompany the articles. So she's been with us actually since back when we had a street team in 2013, when we were doing our Kickstarter, which was, it feels like forever ago. Michelle Galetta is on watching this live event right now. Michelle does a lot of work with our advisory board, and she works a lot with supporting the editorial functions and a lot of administrative functions, and I don't know what I would do without her, so she's amazing. Yeah. Also on our team is Jill Siganek. Jill is in the Pennsylvania area, as well as Heather Cherry, who's out there as well. They both work a lot on marketing things. Jill does our newsletter. Heather helps with our food articles, and she helps make sure that we have really cool recipes coming at us. We also have Stephanie Magriso, who is in Ohio. And she's about to have a baby. So Nanny Magazine's going to have a baby, our first baby in a long time. We're really excited. Yeah. We are wishing her the very, very, very best with that. So please stop by and leave a comment on our Facebook wall to say good luck, Stephanie and John. Her husband's name is John. And we have copy editors as well. So we've got a person named Amber Barrett, and we've got a person named Eben Aduemi, and they do a lot of the copy editing to make sure that we're publishing material that is clean and without error as much as possible, and they do a great job. I think that's it. But beyond that, those are the people who are technically on staff, but we work with dozens of collaborators. So people who maybe nannies or maybe tax experts or experts in pediatrics, people who are photographers. We work with a lot of people who kind of help the entire vision come together. It's not, none of this is operating in a silo. We're very collaborative. We have a really strong team. Everybody seems to be really great with what they do. Michelle mentioned Stephanie Felsenberg. So that brings up another point. We want to give a shout out to some of the people on our advisory board. Stephanie serves on our advisory board, and she also runs the really successful blog, Be the Best Nanny newsletter. She's a really great advocate for Nanny Magazine.
I saw that.
Yeah.
The nanny, well, it wasn't Ask the Nanny. Yeah. I saw that.
Nanny's Ask.
Yes.
She writes the Nanny's Ask column. Yeah. She's great. There are a lot of other people who are on our advisory board, but I don't have that list in front of me, but it runs, bi-coastal. We've got people in Texas, California, New England, all over the place. So
Great. That sounds wonderful. So do you find the articles that are written, do you find that, I know you said there are, each issue has a theme. So do you find the articles through people who just submit them and it meets the criteria of that particular issue? Or do you solicit writers and say, can you write a piece about this? Can you write a piece about that? Who comes up with the article ideas?
Sometimes we're able to pull from the general submissions cues. However, if we're trying to make them fit on theme, typically we have to solicit for that. So we come up with our themes quite far in advance, actually. So, for example, we had our 2018 themes by the middle of 2017, I would say. And at that point, we sit down with an Excel spreadsheet, and the entire team kind of comes together. Although Amanda's been taking a stronger lead on this, kind of working independently. And we say we've got certain columns that we want to fill. So, like you mentioned, the Nanny's Ask column. Stephanie Felsenberg always writes that. We always have our Ask the Agency column. So we kind of fill that queue up for the rest of the year. We know who's going to write each column for the rest of the year well in advance. When it comes to features and food and things like that, we try to discover whatever our theme is, and we plan out or brainstorm articles that could fit that theme. And then what we do is say, okay, well, here's kind of the general direction for this article that we want to do. Now, who do we know that fits the bill for that we could invite to write that piece? And we give them a reasonable deadline, and we also build in some time for ourselves in case something happens with the author and they don't come through, so that we're able to find a backup in a reasonable amount of time. So that is sort of how the lineups come to be. We are Excel obsessed, which I think is just by nature of being in publishing, but it takes a lot of creativity. Sometimes we have to struggle and reach to think about what could fill that particular column. One that I used to particularly struggle with would be we have a style column for nannies, because being a nanny, you can't just put on a business suit and go to work. You're going to get thrown up on by a baby. So
Yeah.
oh yes, and Amber O'Neill has done a lot. She just commented too. Amber O'Neill Wilson, congratulations on your wedding, Amber.
Yay.
Has done a lot of interviews for Nanny Magazine. So sometimes she'll write the questions and we'll route them out, and she'll have a dialogue with the person who's being interviewed. And we publish those pretty much as they have been written. Aside from copy editing that needs to occur. But by and large, it's a really collaborative effort. We get on the phone, we kind of duke it out a little bit and say, here's how we're going to do this issue. Do you know somebody who can write this? No. If not, it needs to be bumped. And that's just, sadly, there have been so many articles that we've not been able to publish. And I will say, I'm probably starting to get to the point of annoyance with Amanda, where I keep asking her to add articles to our wish list, or what I call my wish list. So I have this long, mile-long list of articles that I want to write or have written one day, but it's just a matter of making sure that we can get there. And that doesn't always happen as quickly as we'd like, but that is what it is. So.
Oh, I have wish lists. I have a wish board. You have a list. I have a board. This long. Your list is like here. Mine is like woo.
Yeah. Well, like.
Yes, I have a wish board. I have a dream board, but then I have a wish board. My wish board has a whole lot more. It's like these crazy ideas that hit my brain. Write that down, and I always say write that down. So I filled up a tablet, and I was like, why don't you just get a board so you can look at them? And then after a while, I'm like, not so much. And I just kind of mark it out. I was like, that was, where did you come up with that one? That was kind of crazy. So I understand what you mean by the wish list of articles.
Yeah.
But I recognize, like I said, I recognize a lot of the names on the articles. And I was like, oh. And it gave me some ideas that went on my wish board. So I was like, yes, that's a great idea. But I definitely will be contacting you about a group subscription. I almost said prescription because I was like, no, that's not the word.
Not the word.
A group subscription. But is there anything else that you want to tell us about the Nanny Magazine?
I just want to say that Nanny Magazine exists to inspire people, inspire nannies to do their job. We know how isolating it can be. We've all been there. Everybody on the team either is or was at one point a nanny. So we really do understand what nannies are challenged by, what they need to feel motivated. We are in print. I want to remind everybody that we are in print. So here's our latest issue. And we are a great resource for people. I will say this particular issue has quickly become my favorite because this is the first one for which we actually went out and hired a graphic designer. And I just want to show people how truly amazingly beautiful this is.
It
Like,
is.
well designed. It's our best one. And I'm not just saying that because I didn't have to torture myself with pretending to know InDesign. Here's the data blitz you were talking about.
Yes.
Look how great that looks. I just love it. So yeah, the other thing I wanted to mention was that for one person who's watching this or comments below, we're going to pick one lucky winner for a free digital subscription to Nanny Magazine. And digital subscriptions do come with back access to every article, every issue
Yeah,
ever
they do.
published in our online archive. So leave us a comment below if you are interested in perhaps being that lucky winner. And we will pick somebody by tomorrow at some point, and we'll reach out to you with how to claim access.
Jess is like, please, 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 please. Don't blame you, Jess. It is worth it. Trust me. It is more than worth it because I caught it on sale. But it was just, I was like, wow, this is amazing. All the articles and the digital, where I can just go back and just read everything and everything and it just kept going and kept going and kept going. There was the article. Oh, what was it? I can't remember what it was, but it was relating to one of my kids. And I read the article specifically for the kids. And oh, this is a couple of months ago, and I can't even remember the name of the article, but I remember seeing something in the magazine about it, and I tried it and it worked. So it was, I'm telling you, it is worth it. Peace of mind as a nanny, when you have peace in the house with a 2-year-old, yes, it is worth it. Trust me.
Yeah.
It's so worth it when you have a 2-year-old that is just, you know, he's, I call him 2 going on 30 because his logic, it's, now he's turning 3. I call him a little lawyer because he can explain his case to the point where you believe him and you believe that he needs to have what he wants, knowing in the back of your mind, no, this is not good for you. But oh my gosh. But anyway, trust me, just to have peace in the house with a 2-year-old or a toddler or a 3 or 4-year-old, it's worth it. These articles are well written. They are good advice. It just take my word for it. And I plan on getting with you so we can do this group, find out about this group deal, because I want my nanny sisterhood and my nanny brotherhood to have access to all the knowledge. And that's what Ask the Nanny is about, so that everybody comes together and we can learn from each other. And with all the nannies that I saw writing in the magazine, and I'm thinking all of this is in here. Thank you, Michelle. I see it. I finally see the web address. So but yeah, thank you so much, Jennifer, for coming up with this and for just inspiring us to be better at what we do and to work harder at what we do and find ways to um, just explore. And Kate said something in her article about the W2 about retirement and being able to put your toes in the sand. And because my plan is to retire in Florida. Like, yes, toes in the sand and peach iced tea in my hand because that's my favorite drink. Yes. So trust me, trust me. These articles are very, very good. And I love the one on education too. The issue about education and all the different things to do with the children. And
Yeah.
because I had a child who had uh, a speech impediment,
Hmm.
and I was reading the article about that, about communicating with the children, and I was like, man, if I had had this back then. Sign language is good. I communicate with him with sign, but there was so much more in that article that I could have used besides just sign language. So, yeah,
Yeah.
very.
Well, that's what we're here for. We're here to inspire nannies to be as fulfilled and as challenged and as rewarded as possible. And you never know what you're going to find in an upcoming issue. So we really hope that everybody heeds your advice and becomes a valued subscriber. We are a small but growing family. We consider every one of our subscribers part of the Nanny Mag fam, and we're just so grateful for every single person who does join our little tribe. And we listen to our subscribers. We take feedback. Sometimes it's not always good. Sometimes it's hard to hear, but we do listen to it, and we try to always continuously improve what we're delivering. Um, and we're just really excited to know that we have so much support from fellow nannies out there, and other organizations that strive to support the work, the very important work, I should say, that nannies are doing in our world around us.
Well, I'm just jumping on the bandwagon with you because you've been doing this for a while and informing us and letting us know what's out there and how things work. So I'm just jumping on the bandwagon, on the tail end of the bandwagon, trying to catch up to you. But so nannies, please, 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 if you're watching this, share this video on your page. Share with your friends so that they can watch the video and they can comment and possibly win the subscription. Also, just share for the simple fact that the subscriptions are well worth it. They will help you. I mean, the article alone about the professional portfolio was, spot on. Those a portfolio, I got all of my jobs as a nanny. After my first job, which was my first nanny job, she was a new nanny parent. I was a new nanny. We just kind of worked it out. But my first job, after I left that job, I was there for 7 years. After I left that job, it was because of my portfolio. When parents look at your portfolio and they see what you have done, the certificates, all the training, you pretty much seal the deal. They're like, okay, so when can you start? I'm like, you haven't even talked to me. You don't even know me. Just that article alone. Trust me, nannies. That's just one of many that will help you to get to that level, to the next level, and the level beyond that. Because I'm sure that Jennifer has started this and she's not going to stop.
Oh no.
No. And then there's new things every day, new issues that we have to deal with every day that until we run into them, we don't know about them. So read the magazine and stay on top of things. My husband is a news hound. A news hound. The first thing he does after he says good morning is turn on the TV on CNN or CNBC to find out what's going on in the world today. And me, I'm not so much a news hound, but I am interested in what's going on in my world and what's going on that's going to affect me directly. And Nanny Magazine, everything in there affects us directly. And it talks about the world around us, but it affects us directly. So get the magazine, read about the nanny world, what's going on around you, be aware. That's all I'm asking you is to be aware. Sometimes just being aware keeps you from making wrong decisions, making bad decisions that's not good.
So true.
So, anyway, thank you, thank you, thank you so much, Jennifer, for joining us. Thank you for informing us. And thank you for the lucky winner who's going to win the subscription. Yay! All right, you'll get busy commenting because once she decides, I have nothing to do with this. This is all on her. So don't write me and say, "Can you get it?" I have nothing to do with this. This was her decision. So I'm good luck to everyone. I hope you win the grand prize.
Angela, thank you so much for
You're
having
welcome.
me on here
And
today.
I love your little bird on your shirt.
Oh
Oh,
gosh. Thanks.
I've been distracted by it. I love color, as you can probably tell. I love color, but I was like, what is that? Is that a hummingbird? What is that?
Oh, it is.
So I've been distracted. I'm like, I love it, love it, love it. So Lisa says, active awareness. So sweet of you. Is that your mom?
That's my mom, yeah.
Okay. Yes. Thank you, Mom.
All right, thank you
You're
guys. Thanks,
welcome.
thanks so much. We'll talk to you soon.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, bye.
Bye. All right, everyone, get busy submitting your interest in the Nanny Magazine. Trust me, it is worth it. I love it, love it, love it. And I will be renewing my subscription in October. Emily said, I think Nanny Magazine is also a great avenue to get parents engaged in all the aspects involved in what a nanny does. Yes, you know what? That just gave me a good idea. Christmas gift for your nanny parents. Christmas gift. Give them a subscription to the Nanny Magazine. And that way they're aware of what our struggles are. And we're aware of what our struggles are, because if we don't know it's a struggle, then when we fall into that trap, we don't know what to do. Avoid the trap. Thank you. Thank you, Mom. And oh, Nanny Magazine, thanks everyone. Okay, now submit your writings. All those of you who are love to write, who are bloggers, submit your articles to the Nanny Magazine, and you never know, you might end up in the magazine. Submit, submit, submit. Also, next week we have, next in our series of Women to Follow, we have Myrna Alphonse Newman. She is a crisis nanny, and she's going to come on and she's going to tell us all about being a crisis nanny. We're going to find out all about her, why it's important that we follow her. And because I met her at Nanny Palooza, and when I tell you she is awesome, full of information, oh my gosh, just total, just awesome, awesome, awesome. So join us here next week, same time for Myrna, and I think she's going to talk to us about some self-care too. And we have a couple of surprises for you, so don't miss out. We will see you all next week. Thank you all for joining us, and have a good evening.